Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. All right, rock stars, the weather here is so strange. It is cold this morning. I had to put my flannel shirt on, you guys, so I could stay warm in here, but at least I don't have to have my car running, and I don't have to waste any gas trying to have the heater going. But anyway, you guys, it's a Rona check-in, just seeing how you guys all are doing, how you're all feeling. Again, It's Rock's household seems to be okay as we try to get back to our new normal. Like you guys already know, Georgia has opened up pretty much everything. The malls are open, the stores, everything is open. I don't know if all of the businesses within these establishments are open. I know all of the services that I still would like to get done are still closed. So my eyelash girl is still closed. My eyebrow lady is still closed. My nail people are still closed. So there are still many small businesses in particular that are choosing to stay closed, I guess, until they feel safe. So hopefully you guys are all doing okay. I just like to do this little check-in at the beginning to check on my rock stars families, everybody that you care about out there. Just continue to be safe, and let's get on with this video. All right, you guys, the very first story I have to start with is actually a sad story, and I'm sure many of you have seen it because it is finally picking up some traction. It is about a black man, a jogger by the name of Ahmad Aubrey, who was jogging in his neighborhood back in February. This happened back in February. He was jogging in the neighborhood that he lived in. There were two white men by the name of Travis and Gregory McMichael who believed that he was a robbery suspect. So they did call the police and say that there was a black man running down the street in their neighborhood. I don't know where this is a crime, but anyway, they called the police. They jumped in their trucks and they chased this man down, followed him, pulled over. There was a fight with, I believe, Travis. I believe Travis was the one that he actually got into the fight with. He had a shotgun in his hand, and I'm sure Ahmad saw that and figured he would try to fight, this guy to get this gun away from him. So they were struggling over the gun, fighting, and then finally, Travis was able to pull the trigger and shoot Ahmad. Now, the video is going around on all of social media. Actually, I just watched it on the news. I hadn't even watched the video because I knew that it would bother me. And I had avoided watching it. People had been sending it to me. I knew what the story was already. I didn't need to get the visual, but I actually just for the first time saw it on the news just this morning before I came out here to do the video, and it was horrible. It just boggles my brain that these two men that hunted him down as if he was some sort of animal had not been arrested. Now, they say that the McMichael family has ties to law enforcement in that town, and so they had not been arrested. Like I said, this happened back in February 13th. It was videotaped, so as the video picked up traction on social media, many activists started to get involved. And when the video finally went viral, that was then and only then did Georgia, the lawmakers, decide that they would send this to the grand jury. I still don't know why we have to do all of this. It was very clear what happened on the video. Anyway, it was going to go to the grand jury. However, that still wouldn't happen until June. Maybe even after that, as we are trying to still, like I said, get back to business. Government offices, for the most part, are still closed. So the grand jury wasn't convening until June, and, that's not good enough. So now activists are pressing. They're having demonstrations at the state capitol to arrest these men because they are walking free as they killed a 100% innocent man. This man is exercising. What's really sad about this whole story is we see these things happen so often that it doesn't even become surprising anymore. We should never be okay. Never should be okay with a person being killed just simply because they're black and they're running down, they're jogging down the street or running down the street. Absolutely no discussion about why he's there, even though he doesn't owe anybody an explanation for why he would be there, you know. But for you to just come automatically with shotgun, assuming that this person is a robbery suspect because why? Because he's black, makes no sense. And it's so 100% unfair that these men get to be free. I don't know how free they are right now, though, because I've seen their addresses circulating on social media. And I mean, they have definitely been branded as murderers. And that's exactly what they are. It is going to be a travesty if this does not, you know, if those men don't get brought to justice, because this is just fucking ridiculous. We've seen it time and time again. I told you guys that this is Georgia. This is the South. This is the Bible Belt. I've told you guys plenty of times that you go outside of Atlanta and it is not chocolate city, okay? It is not all black folks. And these things happen here. And if that hadn't been shown on video, if it hadn't been caught on video, them guys would be free. Wouldn't even face possible incrimination. That is the state that I live in, and that is what happens here in Georgia. But you know, it's caught enough traction now that at least we know these two men they're going to face their time in court. I still don't know how it'll come out in the end, but it is honestly a terrible thing. Have you guys seen the video? You guys let me know what you think about it. All right, you guys, let's talk about Joe Biden's Black agenda. Joe Biden has a 6-point plan for Black Americans. It is called the Lift Every Voice Proposal. That's a little bit of an overkill. That's a little bit extra. And he has said what he plans to do if he is indeed elected president of the United States for the Black community. And it goes from bettering schools, you know, increasing value of land in Black communities, you know, rooting out systematic racism, better health care, strengthening a commitment to justice, making sure that Black people's right to vote is still protected, yada, yada, yada. It goes on and on. People have complained that it is too vague. I don't know if it's too vague. It is definitely political speak. I mean, these are the things that people who want to be elected say. Yeah, it always sounds good when we see it or hear it in a perfect world. Yeah, those would be wonderful things if they did come into play. But there's been many times that Black people, once they get the vote, you know, that Black people still find themselves on the outside of the getting that is good, you know, when it's all said and done. So I would like to think that Joe Biden wants to do what he says that he will do. So he will be the person that I will be voting for, because there is only him and YSAP. Those are the choices. So I'm going with Biden. I know there are many people out there that are still saying that they're not going to vote for him until they know that he is, you know, going to do so and so and so. And my thing to, you know, what I say to those people all the time is, well, you got two choices, okay? The third choice is basically you're going to be voting for YSAP. If you don't vote, then that is the vote for YSAP. So that's all there is to it, you guys. But yeah, the Lift Every Voice proposal. What did you guys think about it? Have you read up on it? It's way more extensive than what I told you guys. It is. I just kind of tried to, you know, what is this that I'm trying to say? I just tried to condense it down for you guys just so that we can get through this video. But there's a lot more to it. What do you guys think? Do you believe that's what his plan is? Or is he just trying to get you guys on his bandwagon? So every year around this time, I know many of you guys who have been watching me for a long time know what we always got to go through this. Every year around reunion time for Real Housewives of Atlanta, the rumors start going around of who is and is not going to be on the show any longer. The person that is falling, or the persons that are falling under that axe this season, is Cynthia and Eva. I don't even think the contracts have been written out for the new season just yet. Much like Love and Hip Hop, I don't even think Real Housewives franchise will continue on because of the Rona. So if we can get through. What's the matter? Well, why are you all frowned up looking? Oh, you want to say hi to my people? You gotta come in the car. Okay, that's Jada. Okay. You gonna say hi? You just looked at them.
But you didn't see how to.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, girl. Yes. All right, you guys. Anyway, the cheering, y'all, the cheering. I don't even think they've written out the contracts for the new season. I don't even believe Real Housewives will be recording anytime soon because of the Rona. I know I just said that, but I had to repeat it because I need to pick up where I had left off. So we know there's going to be a season 13, but there's not a season 13 right now. Okay. But anyway, they're saying that both Cynthia and Eva have not been picked up for season 13 because Eva's storyline was boring. You know, that's been the whole narrative that Nene has been spinning out there on her YouTube channel. She's boring. She's pregnant. You know, how much of a storyline are you going to have when you're pregnant? You know, you're not trying to be caught up in any kind of fights because nobody wants to fight a pregnant woman. Okay. So nobody wants to really be controversial with somebody that's pregnant and all that. So usually when they're pregnant, they are laying pretty low. Unless they're having like marital problems, which Eva was not having. You know, there wasn't really much to do with her. That doesn't mean that she doesn't have any controversy in her and that she can't bring it the next season once she gets, you know, through the business of being a new mom again. So I don't know if I feel like Eva's going to be cut off the show. I feel like Eva's is good for the show. The same with Cynthia. Cynthia has a wedding that's coming up. She's conjured up enough gossip about her fiance, #chill, better known as Mike Hill. He supposedly has been a cheater in the past, and I know that they probably want to maybe expand on that conversation for her new storyline as they prepare for her wedding that's supposed to be coming up in October. And also, even in the blogs right now, there's rumors going around that #chill was caught cheating, that he was at a bar with some woman on some date, that they have pictures of it. It's damn quarantine. I can't believe that he would be out right now cheating. Not saying that I would put it past him or any man for that reason, but you know, it's like we got the Rona going on. If you are out, first of all, it's weird to see somebody out at a bar right now drinking anyway. You know, what bars are even open in California? Was he in LA? Like, what, you know, I don't know the full story because I didn't even believe it. You know, I know that they have pictures of him out there supposedly with some woman at some bar. You know, y'all will have to tell me more about that one because I was just like, oh God. But you know, that's neither here nor there. They're saying that Cynthia is also one of the ones that's going to be on the chopping block, or maybe not necessarily cut off the show altogether, but is being reduced to maybe a friend of the show. Now, we already heard that was going to happen to Nene as well. That hasn't been confirmed. Cynthia has come out and said that she plans very much to still be on the show for season 13. She is not leaving. And that she's been a peach holder since, you know, she's been a peach holder for 10 seasons, and she plans to be there again next season. Of course, it's not up to Cynthia. It's up to Bravo. So, you know, she can say all what she plans to do as much as she wants. But when it's, you know, it comes down to what Bravo thinks is going to be best for the show. But I really honestly don't know if I think that Cynthia is going to be off. I mean, Cynthia has had way less going on in her life, and they still kept her on as a peach holder. So, but we'll see, you guys. It's like you don't really know these things until the show until they start recording. They don't really know who they plan on keeping. I mean, I'm sure they have an idea of the main folks that they plan on keeping, but the ones that's sort of iffy, they don't know until they start recording the new season. They haven't recorded the new season, and they're not going to be able to record the new season for a while. So that news, we won't hear that for a while, you guys. So don't get your panties all in the in the snarl, because we do this every single year. People go on and on about who's supposed to be off the show, and then the motherfuckers will be back there. You know, I hear all these stories about they trying to get Sheree back on, they trying to get Phaedra back on. You know, this drama going on with Nene and Jennifer and Sheree supposedly being involved with the guy that stole Jennifer's Range Rover. And I'm just like, nobody cares. You know, I guess maybe this is Nene's backwards way of trying to get Sheree onto the show, possibly by gaining some, you know, some interesting backstory for Sheree. But Jennifer is not on the show, and I don't know. You guys might not even know what I'm talking about, but there's rumors going around that Sheree was involved with the guy that stole Jennifer's Range Rover. It has nothing absolutely to do with Real Housewives of Atlanta, other than Nene is the one that's introducing this whole story, this whole plot. And, you know, with them saying that Nene is trying to get Sheree back onto the show, maybe this is their back door, you know, their backwards way of trying to make it happen. I'm so sick of talking about Nene. As of now, nobody knows who will and will not be on the show. And we might not know that for a long time, okay? Usually we find out as we get, you know, deeper into the summer, but this is not a regular summer, so we'll see, you guys, but calm it on down. Calm it on down. All right, you guys. Now, Earl Thomas. I don't know who this young man is, but evidently he is an NFL player for the Baltimore Ravens. They say that he was held at gunpoint by his wife, Nina Thomas, after she found out that he had been cheating. So you guys stick with me as I tell you this crazy story. All right. Evidently, about 3:41 in the morning, there was a phone call made to the police department that there was some sort of confrontation going on at the Thomas residence. When they got there, they saw Nina chasing Earl around a car with a knife. Okay. You know, get on with that. Not a laughing matter. But you can imagine, okay, what all this was going down at 3:41 at the Thomas residence. So the police pulls up. They tell them to drop to the ground. They both do what they're supposed to do, and they're arrested. Well, they're both taken in, because we got to figure out what the story is. Well, the story is, earlier that day, Nina and Earl got into an argument because Earl had been drinking too much, okay? She told him that he was doing too much. He got mad. He left. She didn't know where he went, so she logged onto Snapchat to see if she could find out where he was. And sure enough, he had a video posted of him with some women. Okay, and of course, the fact that, one, he's drunk, he's gone, that's her husband, he's with other women, that pissed Nina off. Okay, so she called her girls and said, come on with me, because she didn't figure out where he was, because he had location on his Snapchat. So she had her girls come over. She picked up his gun that was at the house. She said that was just to scare him, and she went to the location where Earl was. When she got there, Earl was in the bed with women, okay, plural, and they were naked. So you can imagine what Earl was doing with the girls, and Nina was not happy about that. So she pulled her gun, put it up to his head, and she said that she thought the gun was empty. However, there was still one in the chamber. The safety was unlocked. She could have very well killed him. Now, he was able to wrestle the gun away from her, but not until after she had then threatened all of the women there, said she had mo for some hoes, you know, mo for these hoes that's up in there. You know, Nina was not playing. I don't know quite how they made it back to their home, but obviously they made it back to the home. There was still more arguing going on at the home, and fast forward to 3:41 when police get there, and she's chasing them around the car with a knife. Okay, so yeah, it hadn't been a real long ass fucking day for Earl and Nina. Woo! What, we got guns and knives and everything. Like, Nina was really about it. Okay, you should never be with somebody if it brings you to this point, okay? The fact that you might have killed that person, and the fact that you may have ruined the rest of your life because you're going to be in jail for murder. You know, this is the heat of the passion. You upset and everything. When you sit down and really think about it, is it really worth it? If the nigga is cheating like that, is it really worth it? Okay, your freedom, You know, I don't know if they have kids or whatever, but I mean, they could have affected a lot of people's lives with this foolishness. So she was arrested, released on bail. Let me see what she was arrested for. I think I wrote it down. She was booked for burglary of a residence with intent to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, family violence, and then was later bonded out. She was also ordered to stay 200 yards away from, get this, Earl and his mistress. I guess she can't be home. I don't know how you stay 200 yards away from your husband, but because they are still physically together, I don't know. But yeah, that's the 411 on Who Dropped Kicked Who. Shout out to Riri. Okay, Aretha. That would be Aretha Franklin. But yeah, it's bad times with Earl and Nina Thomas. Yeah, hopefully they can get it together. So I was reading up on, sometimes I just be so clueless on what's happening with these, with the blogs and everything, especially right now. I haven't really been online as much as I had been, you know, because I'm home and it's just a different, my schedule is just different. But last week, they released the Savage remix right after I did Top of the Blogs, which is always how it does. You know, there's always something big happens right after I do the Top of the Blogs. But they released the Savage remix with Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion, and the song is cool. I like the Savage, the original version, so the remix is cool. You know, you throw a little B on top of it. It's always gonna be, you know, B likes to do these type of remixes every now and then, you know, just to show her sassiness and curse a little and act like she's super hood and all of that. Okay, so I like the remix. There was also another remix that was released by Doja Cat. Is that what her name is? I don't know none of her music. I mean, I've heard her music, but I don't really know the girl like that. But you guys seem to love her, okay? And she has a remix with Nicki Minaj, okay? And I listened to it and I was like, okay, you know, fine, okay? I'm not familiar with that song. What is it called? Say So, I believe it is. If it's not, y'all don't get upset with me. People were saying that at the end of the song, Nicki Minaj is dissing somebody. Now, at first they thought that on this diss that she was talking about Wendy Williams, because you guys know that her and Wendy Williams have bad history, and she said some things about plastic surgery and you know, somebody's fake butt and they man couldn't stay home and all of that. So they immediately thought that she was talking about Wendy Williams. However, she came out and said, no, she's not talking about Wendy Williams in that song. So then people started to dig a little deeper and they thought that maybe she was talking about Beyonce in that song. And I was like, well, why would she talk about Beyonce? I know that Nicki Minaj and Beyonce, as far as we know, seem to have a cool relationship. You know, they've done music together. Beyonce is not going to be one to be dissing anybody, but I haven't heard, you know, Nicki Minaj even insinuate that she has any issue with J or B or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm going to let you guys be the judge on this. So in the song, hold on one second. Okay, so in the Savage remix, these are the lines that Beyonce says. If you want to see some real ass, baby, here's your chance. I say left cheek, right cheek, drop it low and then swing. Texas up in this thing, put you up on this game. Okay, now that is Beyonce's lyric in the Savage remix. In the outro for Nicki Minaj's remix with Doja Cat, she says, why are you talking about who body fake with all them fillers in your face? You just full of hate. That real ass ain't keep your nigga home. Now you looking silly. That's word to silicone. Now, as far as I know, Beyonce doesn't have any fake ass. Okay, I don't know if she has or has not had any work done to her body, fillers in her face and things like that. So I don't know if I would say that she was talking about Beyonce. It just doesn't seem like it. I mean, when she says you couldn't keep that nigga at home, I mean, that could be anybody at this point. It's been so many entertainers that have had their men, you know, walk out on them or go and cheat. I mean, it could be a number of people. So like I said, I don't think that she's coming after Beyonce, because why would she? What has happened? Unless some shit has happened behind the scenes. But those artists are so big that I just can't imagine that you would step out like that. you know, if you had a beef with the artist, that it seems like you would just keep that, y'all just wouldn't fuck with each other anymore. Because I've always felt like Nicki Minaj and Rihanna don't really fuck with each other, but they have just decided to just not even talk about each other. Because at one point they were really close, and you would see them. Now you don't hear or see them say or do anything about each other. I also feel like if there was any type of ill feelings between Nicki and Beyonce, that would never make it onto wax. We would never hear about it. Not in something like this. This is too gutter for, you know, Nicki wouldn't do that with Beyonce. I just don't see it happening. So my own opinion is that she was not talking about Beyonce in that. But you guys let me know what you think. Are people just reaching, trying to pit two more women against each other? I mean, you know, it happens. And it's sad, but they do try to make Black women in particular go against each other. So that might be one of those cases. Y'all let me know what you think, though. Have you heard both of the songs? Which one do you like better? Do you plan on learning all these fucking dances? I was like, that Savage remix dance, I was that nigga, that is too much fucking work now. What are we doing here? Is this a damn choreographed? Child, too much. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think. And then lastly, in quickies, while we're talking about women battling each other or pitting women up against each other, this whole Brandi versus Monica thing, you know, I spoke on it a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think that it would happen. But after I sat and listened to both of the girls talk about it in social media this last week, I realized that that's a battle, or that's a versus that doesn't need to happen, because the spirit between Brandi and Monica has been so sour. It's clear that they don't really see it for each other, that that's just it wouldn't go well. Okay, you can imagine what the people would be saying up in those comments. And you know, like Monica said in her interview, when somebody asked her a question about it, she was just like, you know, people have made us fight all this time. Basically, people have always made us battle, and the whole spirit of the versus thing is not supposed to be a battle. It's just supposed to just be a celebration, basically, of the hits that, in this case, it would be two successful R&B Black women artists, you know, would just get and play their hits. But it's just too much bad blood between the two of them. So that is probably never going to happen. But we do have Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. Theirs will be happening, I believe, on Saturday. So everybody will be looking forward to that. And that's this Saturday. So I have to make sure that I'm listening. Will you be listening? I have a question, ladies, men, everybody out there, rock stars. Is it true that history repeats itself? Well, that might be the case, since they're saying that Jamal Bryant has welcomed a baby. All right, a baby with a church member. You guys know that he is the new pastor at New Birth here in Stonecrest, Georgia. That is the church that Eddie Long left after the scandal, and then he proceeded to die from cancer. Jamal Bryant took over there, okay? They're saying that he has welcomed a new baby, or a baby is on the way, and that he is in a relationship, you guys know, with Giselle Bryant. Okay, so there might be your answer. History does repeat itself, because this happened 7 or 8 years ago when Jamal Bryant welcomed a baby girl into his life with another woman by the name of Latoya Odom. He was a pastor at Empowerment Temple AME in Baltimore, and he got a church member there pregnant, and he was married to Giselle. Okay, now him and Giselle are not married right now. However, they are in a relationship together, and here we go again. Actually, I believe he and Latoya had a little boy together. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what Giselle has to say about this story, if it is indeed true, considering that they brought him into her storyline on Real Housewives Potomac. Remember at the end of last season, she announced that she and Jamal were trying to work it out, you know, just seeing each other and doing things again. And I have been seeing pictures of them together and all of that, when we weren't really sure if it was just for a storyline. I would like to think it wasn't. I mean, they have kids involved and, you know, all of this, and her kids very much wanted them to still be together. So I was hoping that it was genuine, but yet and still, you know, Jamal has succumbed to his loins and has, you know, once again seemed to had a baby outside of his present relationship. So I know people are just human, and that these men are just men first before they're anything else. But you know, it's just like, do you not have any control over anything? I mean, you were leading a flock, and you know, jeez. I don't know what's going to happen there. We're going to see if that even gets brought up on Love and Hip Hop. I mean, why I keep on wanting to say Love and Hip Hop on Real Housewives Potomac? Remember I told you guys about them wanting President Obama to give the commencement speech, the virtual commencement speech for the virtual graduation for those class of 2020. Well, he will be doing it. Him and Michelle Obama, as well as many other guest speakers, will be having a virtual graduation on June 6th. So we can all be looking forward to that. I think that's dope that they're doing that. Congratulations are in order to Meek Mill and his girlfriend Milano. They had a little baby boy on Meek Mill's birthday, which was yesterday, I believe it was. Yesterday being Wednesday. He said that Milano dropped him off a king on his birthday. So I'm believing that to mean that they had a little boy. And congratulations to them. I don't know what the baby's name is. Let's see, maybe a Mikano or a Mill, you know, Mill and Milano, Mill. Maybe one of those. We'll see. But congratulations to the happy couple. I also want you guys to remember that Babyface is going to be having his listening party this weekend on Mother's Day. You know, he's going to be showcasing the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. I guess he enjoyed that versus battle so much that he's decided to give you guys a little something extra on Mother's Day, you know, just to spread the love. So good for Babyface. You guys go on and tune into that. And lastly, Greenleaf, you guys. I was very saddened to find out that Greenleaf will only be returning for one more season, and then they are letting it go. I was shocked. Like, I felt like that show progressively got better each season. I think last season was probably the best season. I felt like they, you know, was gaining so much momentum. It's confusing to me why they would get rid of Greenleaf and Queen Sugar is still on. You know, and I don't have nothing against Ava and everything, but Queen Sugar is not as good as Greenleaf. Queen Sugar is just so depressing to me. It reminds me, I told you guys, it's the modern day good times. Like, every time something is about to happen good for them, something bad happens. Every single time. Okay, nothing ever good. That show is fucking depressing. And Greenleaf, to me, just has the right amount of everything. Good acting. You know, there's some bad acting on there, but you know, the good acting outweighs the bad. It has a very good storyline. It keeps us interested. It's salacious enough. It also has that element of the church in there. And I mean, I just enjoy it. Not trying to compare Queen Sugar to Greenleaf, if that's what it sounds like I'm doing. It's enough room for both of them to be on there. I'm just surprised that Queen Sugar is still on and Greenleaf will be gone. So it's very sad to me. But you guys, we'll make it do what it do on this last season. Hopefully it's a very good season, and you know, we can make those reviews really good. But yeah, I'm saddened to find out that the show is it's a wrap on that. I'm wondering if the Rona has somehow worked its way into their decision making on that show as well. Maybe not wanting to hold off on recording for a long time on that and just deciding to just say forget it. I don't know, you guys, but yeah, Greenleaf, one more season left, and then it's a wrap on that. All right, you guys, that's it. Let me get off of here, get on inside, do some work, and then I'll get this edited. So I'm not sure if this will be up until Friday or not. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars, bye.